We are live on ShaggyTV for a little Sstc short track championship series. Asphalt racing at the Nashville Fairgrounds here in the one and only Nashville, Tennessee. Should be a good one. This will be the season finale, and then we're going to be taking a little break here, and then I think, I'm allowed to disclose here. I know Rob and I were talking. I think we planned on doing the Monday broadcast live and then, keeping this one the same here. But I think I've got a surprise for Rob that he may like, and I'll maybe make it work out for both of us. But I had someone reach out to me this morning, so I may want to swap things around, but we will be doing one live, just maybe, if I have my way, the Wednesday. Instead, here is the clock strikes 0. We're going to get ready to go qualifying here. Keith Kincaid is your champion this season. Nobody going to be able to catch him. I mean, even if he'd finished last here tonight with the way that they do the drop weeks. That is, that's how it's going to be. So, let's say Kincaid, even if I'm not sure if Keith's out here watching. It was a rough morning for me. Headaches all night. I barely got any sleep. But, Keith is in here, which I assume he will be. We'll talk to him at last, no matter where he finishes, whether he wins or comes home P8. Try to get a word with the champion here is Chris Reinhold. He's on lap number 1 as I am now going to apparently fight off hiccups here for the next 5 minutes or so. Chris Reinhold puts it across the line. P1 for the moment here. We're going to zoom out. You can see, it's obviously a short track, but bigger short track. Pretty long. It is narrow, though, coming out of the corners. It will really tighten up. And Reinhold, so far, was at the top of the charts. Looking like he's going to get a little faster. Even goes up a bit at 20.02. And Chris Reinhold, P1 for the moment. Let's go with the Farmer here. Chris Farmer in the 54 machine. Whoa, he had a handful there. Able to gather it back in, and Chris Farmer going to go to P5 for the moment as Ed Papano got the red, white, and blue 01 looking good here. Last lap of qualifying, not going to be quicker. For the moment, stays P1. Let's see who is out here on the track. Nobody is out here in an actual lap. So this is going to be the green flag lap here for Glenn Stanley. This is lap number 1. Keith Kincaid about half a lap behind. As well, I promise if you heard that crack, I'm not an alcoholic yet. That's a soda. I need some caffeine. Hopefully get rid of this headache a little bit as Glenn Stanley. Lap 1 comes across P11 out of 11. Let's go back to the Flamin' Hot Cheeto, Keith Kincaid. Let's see what Keith can do here. Lap number 1 going to be P2 for Keith Kincaid. For some reason, Keith's going to be invisible there on our leaderboard, but not in our hearts. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto has burned his way to P2. Can he find a little more green? Purple, Keith Kincaid. Quick time in the 1-7 machine. What a lap there for the Flamin' Hot Cheeto of Keith Kincaid. Pulls to the inside. Not getting a lap here out of Joe Canella's, and I think you'll see him on your starting lineup here. Mr. Kyle Adams, excuse me. Gonna combine Keith and Kyle here tonight. As we get ready to take a look at the starting lineup. Row 7 to the outside, the 1K of Joe Canellas. To the inside, the 14 of Kyle Adams. Row 6 to the outside, the double nickel of Benjamin Gunther. To the inside, the 29 of Glenn Stanley. Row 5 to the outside, the 37 of Tim Chapman. To the inside, the 88 of Dave Brill. Row 4 to the top shelf, the 26 of Frank Barbary. To the inside, the 24 of Scott Tice. Row 3 to the high side, the 54 of Chris Farmer. To the inside, the 71 of Chris Reinhold. Row 2 to the top shelf, the 68 of Rob Cassidy. To the inside, the 44 of B Squared, Bobby Belshaw. Row 1 for your Cenex Short Track Championship season finale here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. To the high side, the 01 of Ed Papineau, and starting on the pole, your champion here for season 1, the Flamin' Hot Cheeto, the 17 of Keith Kincaid. Like I say, my apologies there. It was a slower morning for me, but I can't believe we have already been here this season. And I'm telling you, I wonder if when it hopped over, I've had it load up other camera packs on me. I was in here for about 15 minutes just watching these roll around, and I bet you after I moved these, I forgot to click this save button. So we are going to do this for one more camera, and then I may have to do this a little later in the show. But we're going to hope that I don't. As we get ready to roll out of 400 laps to play at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Keith Kincaid leads the way. It's time to play. Kincaid with a good jump here. Papineau able to get that good run off the top shelf there in 2. And Ed Papineau going to see if he can't try to reel in the Flamin' Hot Cheeto, but the caution flag waves early. Caution flag waves early. Frank Barbary, I'm thinking here, involved in this one. Not getting any, oh, he definitely is involved. I wasn't getting any help there with the SDK information. Oh, so that is, all right, you know, you've heard me say, like, you know, people racing too aggressive at certain points, but this is where, you know, you get to see that obviously, you know, we love our iRacing, man. We love our iRacing, absolutely love it. But we have to deal with this thing called netcode, and we'll see if this is over the top enough. These guys do not make contact. I mean, there they make contact, but you could, okay, so that wasn't a very good view. Normally don't waste a lot of time on these views here, but you just gotta kind of see what we're working with here sometimes. And that's the good view. You can see, I mean, yeah, I'm a pretty big dude, and you're putting me in between those cars there whenever that original contact is made, and that's tough because you can see the 88. I mean, he does lock it up. You know, he didn't want to go through him, but by that point after the net code, he's already coming down track, and I mean, they're both doomed, and that stinks, you know, because I mean, I guarantee you in the car, you know, you're mad about that, you know, whether you want to act like you're cool and calm. I mean, if you're Barbary, you know, you're pretty ticked off. Or if, you know, the 88 is well there, then getting bounced off the wall. But that, I mean, that's just, it's, you know, it's a product of the virtual racing, and eventually, you know, it will get better. But, you know, sometimes, I mean, guys racing with each other all across the world, I mean, this is going to have a little bit of hiccup every now and then. And And that's what we have. I'm afraid to click this button. SDK must have had an update. There's a button now that says restart event recording, and I'm wondering if that then gives me who's in the caution book. You know, we're gonna play it safe. We'll save that for next season. You know, I mean, we'll this is what's brought home the bacon. We'll continue to keep it this way and stay this way here. No reason to rock the boat, so to speak. I do have to apologize because I can hear him in the background now. Going to be some people coming over to my house swimming here today. And, well, nobody's allowed in the house, you know, but I cannot control that wonderful, beautiful, sweet dog of mine from barking his vicious head off at said people coming over. So, actually, you know, I hate to do this, but I had noticed there was still, you know, some things. Let's rewind this. I'm going to do that lap one more time because I want the rest of the show to look really good. Not what I'm about here, having those bad angles. And say, so if we got to get a little behind the scenes, so be it. Sorry about it. But, you know, the juice is worth the squeeze here, I think. Go ahead and make these a little better. We don't, you know, need, per se, sponsor cameras. Right now on these guys. We'll zoom this one out just a little more. That's better. Now we're back at the 1 to green. We roll around here for the final time. This is the view that I really wanted to change, and of course, it comes now. As the green flag set the way, 5 laps underway, lap 6 in the books now. In the Flamin' Hot Cheeto cap. A championship season here with a win. We're going to find out. Long way to go. Bob Belshaw hunting for a podium here in that 44 machine. The double 4 of B squared. Oh, slaps the outside wall there with the right rear. Not what you want to do here in the early stages. As we kind of zoom out, we see a little bit of 2x2 race in here. The 24 is Scott Tyson, Kyle Adams. Well, actually, they're both the 24 there. I forget Kyle runs the 24 over in his camps. So Kyle going to be in the black 24 there. See the two-tone. You got pink on the one side, blue on the other, and now, yeah, like I say, these cameras zoomed right back in. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. I've never had this with my camera packs. Now this one going to stay zoomed out. I must have too many in there, or it must have duplicated. So we may have to fish around here on one caution and start deleting some cameras. But right now, Keith Kincaid leading the way in the Flamin' Hot Cheeto machine. Chris Reinhold running down the 44 here as he started 5th, has moved up to 4th. Reinhold in that 71 machine. No stranger to podiums. You know, he's had his fair share of podiums this season. Just, you know, it's tough to bring home the gold when Keith Kincaid has pretty much led the way, you know, at every event we've been to. Not necessarily finishing up there, but leading the way here as we sit with some of the fans. See the view they got here. Here comes Kyle Adams. This guy, he knows how to work a race car, man. we have got to, like I say, I hate doing this. I really do, and my apologies. But boy, oh boy, man, these cranked up. And I know you got to be barely hearing me. We're going to have to do this for 2 laps while it rotates around because I can see my soundboard fighting off. And I'll tell you what, I am going to make sure and save this racetrack because, like I say, we've been here, I think this is maybe the 2nd or 3rd time. I know it is the 2nd, and I've called plenty of races here. So, now it doesn't want to go back to that outside camera. It'll come back the next lap whenever I click away, and it'll yell as Kyle Adams gets a little bit loose on the inside coming out of 4. That maybe scares Chris Farmer a little bit. You can see he doesn't drive in very deep. You don't want that kind of pressure. You don't need it this early. And Kyle Adams started almost dead last here. We did start in the last row. Up to 6th, plus 7 for the 24 of Kyle Adams. Tim Chapman here making a move on Scott Tice as he takes a peek to the inside here. Tice maybe gets panics a little bit, comes up there. Oh, they make contact. Oh, no, the double nickel of Gunther involved. Joe Canellas as well. And we're going to have our 2nd caution flag of the evening. Saw it happen live there. You can just see, I bet you, Tim maybe thought he was clear. But as we'll see here, definitely Scott Tice still to the outside. I mean, he's kind of diamond in that corner. He's going to get a good run here. We watch it at full speed there. Tim thinks, I'm going to clear him. But Scott, he's there. I mean, he is there. Tim comes up the racetrack. Benjamin Gunther with nowhere to go. Joe Canellas, then he gets popped. As Gunther comes up the racetrack, and Joe Canellas going to feel that one. The 1K going to need to use his first I think we only get maybe 1 quick, possibly 2, but I think we only get the 1. We'll hop ahead here to the next lap. We'll see if these guys, I'll zoom out, any of them thinking about coming down pit road. Nope, too early. I assume so. Got to see. All right, Scott Tice going to come down. He got some damage there. In the accident there with Tim Chapman. Tim doesn't look like he came down pit road. Man, I would have brought that thing down pit road, but maybe he thinks it's a little too early here for the quick repair. Not too sure. Maybe he comes around this time by 2. May have also not been tightened up. Couldn't tell there. I thought the lights were off, but they're not. Lights are going to stay on here, so we'll skip ahead. One more lap to when now the lights do go off. And cars should get set to double up here on the racetrack. Tim Chapman did go down that following lap, and all the Tim Chapman fans out there, if you're wondering, did go down pit road there. And use a quick repair here as we'll get ready to watch that pace car pull down. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto dusts the field here, and we're back underway. Lap 22. Time to go play at the Nashville Fairgrounds as the Flamin' Hot Cheeto sees the 01 of Papineau right there off the deck lid. Let's check it out for ourselves here. Ed Papineau, you see him sawing on that wheel, trying to get a run here as we dive down into 1. Can't do it. But here comes Kyle Adams as we hop on the back of Ed Papineau. Kyle Adams was going down low, but we got one more caution out here.
And I couldn't tell. Let's see here. May have been Tim. It may have been Scott Tice. I didn't really see. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. That's definitely what it is. I didn't see Benjamin on the relative. I wonder if he ends up towing. As Gunther gets loose. Just exits a little too high. Tim narrowly misses the 55. And no, he didn't tow. Okay. This wasn't popping up. Oh, it's because he is a lap down at the moment. That's why. Lap down at the moment for me. There you go. You can see him at the bottom. I was looking for a guy to kind of fall some positions here, and was already a lap down. It's a tough break there for the 55. If you saw, I mean, he was involved in the early incident. Nothing he could do about that. I mean, that was none of his doing. Wads that thing up and then comes out there. Tires probably maybe not very happy with him after having to slide on the brakes for the first caution. As we'll see, light should go off. My apologies there. I just got to the mute button before I almost choked myself to death there on my own saliva. But we are back and we are in control, or so we think. And Keith Kincaid will walk us around this racetrack one more time as we are already a quarter of the way through. We're gonna, do something a little different here. We've done it a couple times this season. But, you should know. And, I mean, this man, you see RaceMRL.com, he is kind of, helped put this league under his banner. I'm, of course, talking about this man, Kyle Adams. See what he's got from the outside of row 2 here. We'll ride with him for a lap or 2, maybe 3. We'll see how interesting it gets. We'll watch Keith Kincaid in that 17 drop the hammer. He does. We're underway. It's time to go play at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Kyle going to take advantage of that outside line here. This is where you pinch down B squared. This is where you hold that preferred line. But, maybe he gets roughed up a little bit. Contact with the 44. And Kyle Adams getting shown the door here at the fairgrounds. He says, Kyle, you're the new guy on campus. Watch the hell out. Muscles him up the racetrack. And boy, oh boy, B squared showing he's going to do what it takes to try to hold on to this third and final podium spot. As here comes Chris Reinold in the 71. Does he have the medicine here? Just got to that in time. That camera was absolutely killing me. Finally got to it. That was the ridiculous loud one. As Ed Papineau works into 3 and 4. I mean, he's right there. We've seen him so many times this season. This close, right behind that Flamin' Hot Cheeto. But he just knows how to pace that race car to get the most out of the set of tires. I mean, what we've seen, I've mentioned it before. I hate this be that broken record here, but he really is. He's like an artist up there. I mean, he doesn't waste any of the paint. I mean, he is using absolutely all the material. And Keith, you can see maybe not driving in as hard as the 01 here. You can see Ed reel him in on corner entry, but Keith is all about picking up that throttle early and just accelerating off the corner exit. And that's where That's where you find all your speed. That's where you find your success. I appreciate that, Mr. Joe. And this is definitely, man, as I'm talking to Joe Canellas right now, this is, Joe, I've watched you, you know, I mean, you got on the podium there on the dirt. This was another one, man, where I could clearly see you're just trying to ride around in the back and the first caution, you know, I mean, it went that way against you here. We shouldn't be surprised at the unfortunate bad luck you've had this season, but another caution flag here. Let's see if we can figure this one out. So this is from the boss man, Rob Cassidy, I think. I would assume so. We don't really know. I saw a car slow on the inside. He's still slow here, and no caution flag. There we go. Now one just wait. There's nobody else sideways on the racetrack anywhere else. So I assume maybe that slow entry down on the bottom at some racetracks is, well, we saw there at Eldora Monday night. That, you know, sometimes iRacing doesn't like those slow entries on the bottom of the racetrack. And, I mean, it's for, you know, the safety element. You don't want the leader to get caught up in something dumb. So it's definitely there for good measure. So right now, P2 going to go down pit road, but he's going to be the only one. Ed Papineau got dummied by the 44 of B squared. He sold him, man. He acted like he was going down there, and then all of a sudden, Pappy's the only one who showed up at the yard sale. And, I mean, he's going to be able to buy whatever he wants down there, but all those guys who, you know, passed and maybe got a little more money left in their pocket here, it's going to weigh them down in front of the 01. You know, they're not going to have that fresh grip that Pappy's going to have here, but that's a lot of guys to get, man, and a little over half a race. That's not going to be easy for Papineau. He is going to need a lot of things to go his way. And realistically, you know, not only, you know, let's her really go his way, but he needs people to kind of help him out. You know, and actually Tim Chapman coming down a lap later, that does help him out because he's who I was going to mention. He was right in front of Ed Papineau. You know, you need those guys in front of you that maybe no shot, but maybe aren't at that talent level of the 01 or don't have those new tires like the 01 has. It's something you gotta always be fishing with in the back of your mind, you know, because as a race car driver, certain times, you know, you don't want to battle someone. There's just no strategic advantage. You're hurting yourself for the later legs of the race here. So I have to see. I mean, right now, the battle for the lead would be very important. You know, that's arguably the one where maybe you burn your stuff up a little bit because you can get out front, set the pace, force the guy behind you to then in turn try to burn his stuff up and really kind of, you know, mold that guy to where you want it as Kincaid drops the hammer back underway. Little slower restart there for the 44, but Reinold not able to really put the pressure here. He sent a late dive, but the 44 going to shut the door. B squared holds on to P2 for the moment. As Kyle Adams back up to P4 in a matter of no time at all, but the caution flag waves. Scott Tyson, the 24. Not what he wanted. Let's see what happened to Scott Tice here. He's going to have some contact with Rob Cassidy. We're going to try to go over the top here. See possibly if he got in the back of Papineau first or maybe just locked it up. No, so Cassidy, he's just going to get in a little late. Flies up the hill, gets into the back of the 24, and a dramatic spin there. I mean, that's definitely, you know, I mean, obviously he hit him, but you're racing on Saturday night. I don't think he's going to spin around like that netcode helped aid that one. But that's definitely one. If you're Scott Tice, you're sitting there, you're just collecting your thoughts. It's been a rough night. Now we'll see here. We skipped ahead one lap. We won't skip ahead just yet. We'll go to the green flag. Don't get me wrong. We'll skip up to it, but I'd like to see. Now I doubt anyone pits. You see Keith Kincaid. We'll go off him. Leader ain't gonna pit. They had their chance. 24 of Kyle Adams. Now he decides he wants to pit. Glenn Stanley going to follow him, so that's 2 more spots for Ed Papineau, and that's, this is maybe going the way the 01 needs it to. I mean, I didn't really mention in the start here, but we've talked about it in previous race here. This is a place, and you saw Kyle Adams. I mean, he had it till he was going to get muscled up the racetrack. Get it done on the outside here, man, especially with a new set of sneakers. If you pinch that guy down on the inside, he's not going to be able to get that run off the corner that he'd like. And this is the kind of stuff that the 01 needed here. 2 less guys. Should restart on the outside here when we get ready to go back, as the lights do stay on here. So we'll skip ahead one more lap. Now the lights are off. Now you can hear this one's a little louder. I want these ones louder. And when we drop the hammer and go back racing, crank it the heck up, man. Let's hear these things roll around this place as Keith Kincaid drops the hammer. We're back underway at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Battle's starting to heat up here inside the top 5. Here comes Chris Farmer to the bottom. Gonna take a peek under Dave Brill. What can he do? The 88 gonna leave him a little room, but you can't leave him too much room. You want to hold on to that spot. The 88 gets a little loose there. You see the rear end jump around. Coming out of 2. The 54, he's got to use that to his advantage here. This could be a rough corner for the 88 as well, but he finds the grip. Good drive off of 4, and the 88 holds on to 4th at the line. Can he get the run off of 2? Couldn't do it. Thought about cutting in between, but the 54 kept his nose there. And Chris Farmer trying to prevail. He's got P4 at the line with 52 laps to go. Keith Kincaid here, he's been able to just maintain that gap half a second. That's probably, a lot of that's got a plan, or part of the plan, I should say. Is Ed Papineau trying to work under the 26 here of Frank Barbary. No time wasted there for the 01 of Papineau, who we know is quick, man. He's ran most of the early race there in second, right behind the Flamin' Hot Cheeto. And maybe knew, hey, if I stay out here, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I got to mix it up here. We're going to run a little bit of a different strategy. And so far, seems to be working here for the 01. Is look at those new sneakers. Happy up inside the top 5. Gotta go quick here, and he is, man. This is a drive. Let's go on the nose here of Ed Papineau. He is wheeling and dealing here at the fairground.
Needs to get this run middle out of 2. You can see reels up on the back of the 31, but it's a little bit loose there when he has to crank it down to try to get under him, and that's where he's going to wear out that right rear a little quicker than he'd like to. And so I say you got to make the moves quick. You have too many failed attempts, and all of a sudden, those tires are going to feel the same as that 17 right up the road. So, I mean, you only have a little bit of this tire advantage, and Kyle Adams flexing that as well. He came down in the most recent pit stop. Kyle Adams, the MRL man, trying to do what he can up the 7th here after that mid-race pit stop. And you got to think guys like Kyle, you probably done pitting here. You go in, you pit closer to the halfway point. You try to drive back up, and if you do, I mean, it's almost going to be too late to try to drive back up there again. As Reinhold gets loose coming off at 2. Here comes Ed Papineau. As we come out of 4, Papineau's there, but he's not close enough to take a peek. And now you see Reinhold racing defensive here. He's entering a little lower. That's going to slow him down and really kind of pack up this field here. You can see he's just worried about playing defense, and this may be where Papineau, maybe bluffs to the inside, swings her to the outside, and Papineau, here he comes! Reinhold slides up, shuts the door. Ed Papineau thinking about a send here. Couldn't do it. Reinhold going to go down, slam it shut here in the middle. And Chris Farmer goes around in the 54. Caution flag waves at the fairgrounds. You saw that was a, self-induced accident, I believe. Just gets a little loose coming off of 4. He may have gotten one shot there from the 88, but he's lost it. At that point in time, you can see he just enters up. He's up in that 3rd, almost 4th groove. Not a lot of rubber up there. Guy's not running up there, so it's, you don't have a lot of help, and they're the 88. Didn't look too bad, but, that's some pretty heavy contact. That may have hurt the nose of the 88 here, and brought us to one more caution. We'll see here. Keith will catch up to the pace car. And this is where, if you... I'm just going to shut my mouth on what I think the strategy should be, because I'm not right 9 out of 10 times. And Keith Kincaid is going to do, I think, what I said I wouldn't do. I said I would have just stayed out and dedicated to it. But here he is, Flamin' Hot Cheeto, going to come down pit road. And Kyle Adams going to inherit the lead here. Tim Chapman staying out on the racetrack as well. Glenn Stanley. Not too sure if Tim will duck down the pit road here next time by. That's been his strategy, to make sure he can get all 4 tires. It took some guys a little bit to learn. It took him one time going lap down. But if you're in the back of the field here, the short track racing, these aren't NASCAR pit crews. These are your brother-in-law, your father changing your tires. So, you're not going to get F1 style pit stops out here, and you will lose a lap if you're towards the back and you're changing 4 tires. So, guys have had to adjust their strategy. Joe Canellas and Tim Chapman now coming down pit road, probably due to that. And Kyle Adams is going to lead the way here. We're going to skip forward 1 lap, go to when they double up here. See, the lights are off. When we pull out of 4 this time, that 24 will drop the hammer, and lap 64 will be set to go underway. How did I just realize that the 29 has a Cheerwine sponsor on it?
most delicious soda as the green flag waves. I love that stuff when I go down south. In fact, I'm going down to North Carolina here for my little brother's bachelor party in 3 weeks, and I will be bringing back a couple cases of cheer wine. As Frank Barbary trying to have something to cheer about, looking to the inside of the 01, Ed Papineau. I think Ed wants to be up high. I really do. I think he does, but the 55 maybe kind of making him think otherwise here. Gunther maybe trying to get up and out of the way. Doesn't want to play. Lets the 88 go on by. Now the 01. Got to take his toy and go down to the basement here. The 55 up there hogging all the grip is Rob Cassidy. He really goes up the hill as well. Ed Papineau now with the big send. Oh, Farmer. Chris Farmer goes around. I couldn't tell if he did actually go around. You saw he hit the wall pretty hard. It was enough to bring out the caution flag. And that was not what did it. So I am not too sure what happened here. Okay, he just gets loose. So it's a long wreck. It started a while back, and you can see gonna get loose. Rear end starts to swing out from under B squared. He's running P5, I believe, at this moment. And you can see hard into the outside wall. Doesn't want to bounce down the racetrack in front of anyone. So locks it up right there. And that's where you see the double nickel narrowly missed that. And Rob Cassidy, he's got to come down the racetrack. And Chris Farmer, that's where he pays the price, hard into the inside wall. Not what the 54 wanted to have happen here, as Kyle Adams now leads the way. It's Kyle Adams, man, and I think he may have ran race 1. I can't remember the one that I may not have been around for. I know he was gridded, or he was in one of the sessions, but I don't think raced because I saw his name pop up on my little SDK cheat sheet, but I don't know. You know, Kyle, I did know he was gonna race, and you know, I told him, I said, if you're around, hop on, man. We'll interview you. But you know, from taking peeks around, I don't think he is in here, so we'll see. You know, not that I want to spoil anything. I'm not too sure if he does come home on the podium. Like I said, I told him show his butt up regardless here as the lights go off on the pace car. And this man in the 24 set to bring us back to the green flag here. We'll have 30 laps to go when we do get the green flag. We're going to go trackside once again for this first lap. Man, I love the sounds. These asphalt late models, man, they just sound so mean, so quick. As Kyle drops the hammer, leads us to the green flag. We're back underway. It's time to play. Here comes the flaming hot Cheeto, already back up the P2. Your season 1 champion battling his way up as Frank Barbary gets muscled down into the inside wall. And this is the beauty of doing the replay. We can go back and look at this. This was a pretty big shot here. I think the 88, you can see maybe fishtailing it a little bit, getting loose. He's just trying to play catch up. Yeah, you can see his front wheels turning, and there it cocks down. He tries to turn him back up, but slaps him with that right rear. And that is a hard shot for the 26 here. No caution flag, but I'm telling you, that car will not handle the same. So he is going to have to limp that one home here, hope for a caution, so he can go in and repair that thing as Kyle Adams leads the way. You know, he's out here kicking down sandcastles. I mean, this guy, he is quick. You know, Keith, he said, you've been the guy, but you know, I haven't been here. I haven't been able to flex my muscles. I've raced with a lot of dogs. I mean, Kyle over there at MRL, there's a lot of speed over there. In fact, I heard him talking to these guys. I think they have a money race coming up here over on the MRL thing, or on the MRL side. Check out racemrl.com. I'm sure there's more information about that. My father was telling me a little bit about it. But there are a lot of quick guys over there. You know, you want to test your muscles? That's the place to do it. RaceMRL.com. I mean, there's the best of the best, and they got guys like me. You know, so if you want to go out there and win, you get in the league with guys like me, and I mean, you can feel like you're Mario Andretti. But if you want to get a dose of reality, you hop over there to that RaceMRL.com, and I mean, you're going to see some stuff, some I ratings that you didn't think were possible over there, and they race hard, and most of all, they make them race clean. There's 24 laps to go. Keith Kincaid trying to reel in the 24, but man, he's in uncharted waters. Normally not the guy kind of getting towed along here with 24 to go. 23 now this time. He's normally leading the way, so he may have to game plan a little different here. Kind of change his attack. Really, there is not much of an attack right now. Kyle pulling away. He's got it up to 3/4 of a second here. As Dave Brill and Ed Papineau battle for that final top 5 spot. The 0-1 of Ed Papineau trying to go wherever he's got to go here. Tim Chapman right behind watching that battle. He's got a front row seat. Ed Papineau wheels to the bottom of the racetrack here. Can he get under the 88? Can't do it. Dave going to slam the door shut, enter in 1. Now he's going to think about taking a peek under the cold cup man of Stanley. Now Papineau gets a run on the outside. Does Glenn Stanley fight off Dave Brill and allow Papineau to get this run up top? Ed Papineau right there. Can't do anything with it, though. And all this 20 laps to go. 19 this time by for the driver of the 24, Kyle Adams, who's just putting them down and making the rest of the boys try and pick them up here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Keith Kincaid, 8/10 back, Reinhold, and then we got a little bit of a battle here for 4th. There's Glenn Stanley trying to hold off Dave Brill, who was absolutely at a mirror full of Ed Papineau these last 4 to 5 laps. As we'll go off the back of the Stanley, the 29. Ed Papineau getting a run to the inside of Dave Brill. Dave said, enough. I can't get by this guy. Your turn, Ed. I'll try to pick up the scraps here when you go on by. We'll have to see if that strategy pays off here. 16 laps to go. Kyle Adams watching the lead start to evaporate a little bit here. Back down to 6/10 of a second. Did the Flamin' Hot Cheeto keep enough dust left on those tires to burn it down here? 15 to play at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Chris Reinold trying to use that inside lane real low, coming off the two, dips those left side tires down on the flat, helps it rotate, and Joe Canella sees the leaders coming up in the rearview mirror. He's going to play nice, gets to the inside of the racetrack. Kyle Adams still leads the way. Only a half a second lead over the Flamin' Hot Cheeto. Maybe back there licking it off his fingers, man. He has kicked this thing into overdrive. Here comes the Flamin' Hot Cheeto. Keith Kincaid says, what better way to win a championship than with a checkered flag as well? And I mean, you want something to, to keep dreaming about. You want to celebrate here in this month we're going to have off, and this would absolutely allow the Flamin' Hot Cheeto to do that. I mean, Miss Kincaid may, hear him shouting in his dreams, Season 1 champion. I mean, this is going to live with him. Chris Reinold, he may have a good battle or a good view of the battle that's about to come here. Going to have 10 laps to go this time by, but Keith Kincaid has got it down to 0.4 of a second here. And he might have enough time to play. As Ed Papineau as well, he got by Glenn Stanley. Snuck that one on me. Ed Papineau back up inside the top 4. And Ed Papineau, can he make a run at Chris Reinold to get himself on the podium? Kyle Adams is, seeing objects appear much closer in that mirror this time around. 8 laps to go, but that lead cut down to almost 0.3 of a second here as the Flamin' Hot Cheeto turning up the heat. Seven laps to play at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Here comes Chester Cheeto. Keith Kincaid right there. It's now 6 to go. You see, they are clicking off. I'm not sure if he's going to have time to get there. All eyes on the battle for the lead here in Nashville. Who is going to bring home the guitar? 5 laps to play. Does Keith flex the muscles here? Maybe move the MRL man up the racetrack. We're going to find out. 4 laps to go. Kyle running defensive there in the middle lane, just trying to get a good run off and not allowing a full car length there for Keith to get under. You can see Keith about half a lane lower, but there's just not enough light in that tunnel, and with only 3 laps to go, I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. As Kyle Adams drives through 3 and 4, 2 laps to go here in Nashville. One last peek over the racetrack. Ed Papineau is trying to battle here for third. Tries the inch to the outside. Reinold shuts the door. And with the white flag set to wave, 1 lap to play here in Nashville. Kyle Adams rolls it into 1 and 2. What does he do? Final time down the backstretch. Keith Kincaid sails it off into the bottom, but he can't find enough. Kyle Adams playing nice. Gonna let those boys get their podium. Coming home. 4th, I believe. Maybe, I'm not sure where they're gonna give Kyle. But that's just, he's not points racing. Going to give the guys all their points. But Kyle, arguably could have and should have brought this one home. But Keith Kincaid going to cap off the championship season with another win. Chris Reinhold third and Ed Papineau coming home in P4. We'll see here. We're going to jump these back. Actually, you guys have seen plenty of behind-the-scenes stuff. We all know this is faster by now. But I do have to... It's not in the way on your screen, but it is on mine. I've got to get away from it. Take that away here really quick. Let's go back to... I believe this was the opening lap. It was... We'll see here if we can't find Chris Reinhold here. Don't think Ed Papineau is in here with us today, but we'll see. No, he's not, so we're going to bring home Chris here. Hey, Chris, man, Shaggy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, man, you know, all of a sudden, I mean, obviously we saw Kyle kind of pull down there to the inside, but, man, all of a sudden, you know, you're trying to hold on to P3 and you come across P2, but that race between you two there coming to the end, you and Ed, I mean, that was fun to watch. Talk to us about those last 10 or so laps, man.
Yeah, those last 10 laps, I was in protect mode. I seen him in my mirror, and I was like, oh, man, here we go. Because Ed he hits his marks every lap, and it wasn't if he was going to get by me, it was when he was going to get by me.
Yeah, and that's kind of the tough thing here. You know, talk to us a little bit about, you know, I mentioned there on the broadcast how, you know, this is one of the few racetracks we come to here on the short tracks, man, where you can get it done on the outside. You know, it's not going to be easy, but when you go to play defense, how much trickier is that? Because, you know, you got to kind of protect both lanes. I mean, it is not easy to do.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time practicing before this race because I'd never raced here in the iRacing, so I was trying to figure out what lines to run, and I was running on the upper line there for a bit, just keeping my right sides on there because the bump in turn 2 is like pretty nasty, and I actually come to the realization that I'm just going to run through I was faster running through the bump, and I just had to make sure that I wasn't full throttle when I was going through it. But then when he come up to me, like I'd seen him make a couple of passes on the high side in the rearview mirror, and I was like, yeah, he's going to get me on the high side. But I didn't change my line. I just kept my line going. And like, I mean, the one good thing is, like, I mean, with these guys here, they're so clean that if you're running the same line every lap, they know what you're doing, and they just, you know, Ed's the type of guy, he waits for his chances.
Well, you know, Chris, and that's why you mentioned with the throttle control, man, you just got to be patient going over those bumps. And I mean, that's what you did. You didn't make any mistakes, and you didn't allow Ed that chance to get on by you. So hopefully, I mean, we both know how good Ed is. So this should give you quite the confidence boost here as we roll into season 2, man. We got a month break, but you excited to come back here and do it once again?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Well, hopefully, Glenn, I just noticed you had a GSR on that thing. Hopefully, Glenn, spoofs you up here, gives you a new motor in the off season, and you come back fresh here. That guy, he owns so many race cars, man. I was watching Osh Weekend last night because I'm friends with Connor Ross, who runs the Crate Sprints, and it is crazy, man, how many cars Glenn owns. He does such an awesome stuff for all the racing people, you know, giving people rides that necessarily don't. Man, I'm glad you have GSR on the car, man. That is a great guy to support. But heck of a run, Chris. Congratulations on a good season, man. Way to cap it off with a podium. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to kind of go outside of a race, and I'm going to thank Glenn Stiers. we wrecked our sprint car at Ushwegan really bad. Not this past, like last weekend. And Glenn called up on Saturday morning to see how our driver was, and he said, "What can I do to help?" And Saturday morning, we were up at the track picking up a car so that we can continue on with the rest of the season, and we're going to be a full-backed GSR sponsorship.
See, guys, I wasn't just running my mouth, man. I know a couple Canadians, and man, I've heard nothing but good stuff about Glenn and just kind of the doors that he'll open for people and the opportunities that he gives. So that's awesome, Chris, man. I wish you guys the best luck with that. I mean, not that I don't know what kind of stuff you were in this year, but now you know, man, you're gonna be in good stuff next year. You're gonna have good stuff in that team. So good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, congratulations, Chris. Hopefully I'm talking to you again here next season. Good luck.
Yes, thank you very much, Shag.
Chris Reinold bringing home P2. I'm going to mute myself and cough. Boy, held that one off for a long time, and now we're going to bring up the Season 1 champion. And Keith, I'll tell you, I mean, you know, Kyle probably would have beat you to the line here. But, man, with if this thing was 105 laps, you may have got that thing on merit. You were starting to run him back down and show him that long race pace you have, but just ran out of time, man. But talk to us about another great race here.
Yeah, Shaggy. Well, going into this race, you know, with the Sstc, it's like a triple crown type championship. So we've got a combined championship that's both dirt and asphalt together. And then we've also got the individual championship with dirt and asphalt. And going into this asphalt race, this last race of the season, Ed and I were tied dead even. And for me to win the championship, I needed to finish in the top 3 and ahead of Ed. So I was kind of, you know, playing it easy and just kind of riding. There towards the end, I thought about pushing, and I closed back up on Kyle, but I thought I'd play it smooth and just ride behind him there at the end. And we knew he wouldn't go through post race tech anyway, because that nut behind the wheel is about 18 years too young for our league. But, we had a great race, and it was a lot of fun to actually bring it home, the victory here at my home track at Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Kyle used the fake ID to get in or what that deal was, but when you own the banner, you're allowed to flex those muscles every now and then. And I mean, how much fun was it to normally you're Kyle, okay, you're the guy being chased. How much fun was it to go kind of try to milk him down there at the end? And I mean, Kyle can say what he wants here, but I know for a fact, I mean, you're going to be a guy he thinks about. I mean, he races with a lot of guys, and Keith, you outpaced him. I mean, yeah, he was going to pull over, let you guys win. He can say that for sure. But, man, you were coming at the end. And, if you can do that to a guy named Kyle Adams, you can do that to a lot of guys. So does that raise your confidence, Keith? Because, man, you look good tonight.
Yeah, definitely, Shaggy. Yeah, anytime you can run with a caliber racer like Kyle, it just definitely boosts your confidence. And I'm ready to explore some other MRL leagues and looking for some other opportunities. But this Sstc group, it's always going to be my home group, and I can't wait to start season 2 with these guys.
Yeah, man, you heard me talk about that a little bit. I mean, I've got some old friends from 2009 that running some stuff that he has where there is some 6 to 10,000 high rating guys. I mean, you could have a lot of fun playing with some of those guys. I think it would be a real test for you. But congratulations, Keith. You win the dirt, you win the asphalt, but most important, man, you win the combined. You're the Triple Crown winner. Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank on an awesome season?
Thank you, Shaggy. Yeah, we did a great interview yesterday with Kyle. He's got that posted up on the Misfits YouTube page, and it'll be on, I'm sure, on their Facebook page too over at MRL. So check that out. Gave a big shout out to all the people that's helped supported me over the years. But this today, I want to thank the drivers of this series. I mean, these guys have been amazing to race with this year. There's just so much respect. The driving, the competition level, it's just, it's through the roof. So, these guys have made this season what it is, and that's phenomenal for a new league first season. Just can't say enough good things about the Sstc group and the group of drivers we have.
Well, hey, congratulations, Keith. I mean, you're a class act. You've showed it all season. You're willing to teach people the tips and tricks, man, and you're willing to give away your stuff and still go out here and race hard, man, and get it done. Congratulations on a perfect season, and I can't wait to talk to you again, man.
Thank you, Shaggy. Appreciate all you done for us this year, and looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, most definitely can't wait. That's your champion, Keith Kincaid. Gets it done here at the fairgrounds to cap off a beautiful season here with the Sstc Short Track Championship Series. Huge shout out to Kyle Adams over there at MRL for kind of, making this run smooth, doing those awesome intro videos all year. Rob Cassaday for, I haven't really thanked him yet. I don't like embarrassing people or anything, but man, this guy, he kind of, helps pull the ropes behind the curtain. Keeps everything running good, man. This is his baby, and without him, we don't get to have any of this fun. So, on behalf of everyone here at the Sstc Short Track Championship, I'm Zach Chapman from ShaggyTV saying have a fun month vacation, and we'll be back here in what month are we? August, September? Let's say middle of September to play it safe. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a show. Have a good day.